right, still in fine fettle the markets, but we're going to do a dipstick survey of the chemicals industry. We are joined by Sunil Lalbhai, the Managing Director and CEO of Atul. Sunil, thank you very much for joining us. First, lay out for us your industry before you come to your company in particular, since you just told us that you manufacture 500 different kinds of chemicals and chemical products. How has been the performance? The IIP, the Index of Industrial Production itself, was seriously pulled down, we are told, because of the contraction in chemical output. Is that something which is still bedeviling the industry?
Well, what we have seen in our company is that the first 2 quarters of the last year, last fiscal, were much better. We in fact showed a growth of about 45% in the first quarter. Second quarter we improved by about 35%. But the last 2 quarters of the last fiscal, we had a sharp reduction in the growth in sales.
And how does the current quarter look to you? Does it look like it will be a repeat of the fourth quarter, or does it look like things will be picking up?
The first quarter of this fiscal is expected to be better than the last quarter of the last fiscal. So we are expecting a bit of improvement. Not as compared to the growth that we had last year, but we still expect that we will maintain the growth.
Will imports, cheap imports, be a problem because the dollar has depreciated?
No, in fact, the imports
are
becoming more expensive.
Okay, all right.
Because the dollar has strengthened and rupee has weakened.
Okay, okay.
Sunil, let me just break this up if we can. And using your industry as a representative industry, has input costs come down, whether it's imported or whether it's local? Have you been able to increase your unit cost? Perhaps you could give us a quarter-to-quarter comparison. Has the unit sales gone up, if you can just break up the numbers itself? And why have any of these things happened? Do you see a demand pickup out there in the economy, or do you believe people just kind of reduced themselves too much in December? They're just trying to come back to where they were. What is really happening in the economy? Is there a small demand uptick, or this is all basically people are recovering from December and just trying to spend again?
Well, first of all, talking about Atul, we, as mentioning to you earlier, we have about 500 different products. We have 7 distinct businesses. We are in crop protection, we are in fragrances, we are in bulk intermediates, we are in colors, we are in pharma intermediates, and we are in polymers. And recently we have entered dates business. So we have a very varied portfolio. But if I have to make a general statement as to what is happening, we have seen, as I mentioned to you, a dip in demand. But Indian demand, we have not seen a significant
well, 2 specific products that you mentioned. What about polymers and dye stuffs? Did you see specific
Yes, in the third quarter of last year, we saw a sharp decline in the consumption of dye stuffs, and our sales went down considerably. But fourth quarter was better. Fifth quarter, that is this quarter, is definitely going to be better than the previous quarter. And as far as polymers is concerned, exactly what we were discussing earlier, we saw a dip in demand, particularly in exports. We had, if I give you a number, we had a fall of about 40% in exports of polymers. We export incidentally about 50% of what we produce. Our turnover last year was about 1,200 crores. So approximately 600 crores is exports.
Right, Sunil, we could have spent some more time, but we will discuss more with you again. Thanks very much for coming down to our studio. Sunil Lalbhai of Atul Limited. Let's take that break.
The trade